That was good workout. Now let's try one of my favorite drinks of all time. Ugh, what the fuck? Don't spill, don't spill. Okay, didn't spill. Alright. Beautifully executed. Cheers. My favourite pastime, chugging down egg yolks. Disclaimer, please do not eat raw eggs. There's a 1 in 20,000 chance of you contracting salmonella. And that applies to me as well. That finishes. Actually not bad. Kinda looks a bit like semen though for some reason. Kinda looks like I'm drinking semen. Anyways, let's make a video. This box belongs to Anderson Wong. Well, not anymore. Belongs to me now. Suck it. Ah, there we go. Well, goodbye. It's been a good run. Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Je m'appelle Eugene. Can you hear me? Test recording. 1 2 3. Okay, I checked the audio. Audio's fine. I mean, I'm too stupid to mount this microphone onto my old mic stand, so I guess I have to hold it like this. I think it is better though, because I can move wherever I want and you guys can still hear me. There is a new mic stand that comes with the Nazi package, but I can't be bothered to set it up because I'm a lazy person. And I have to record this crap video, so can't be bothered. Okay, I want to listen to the mic quality for a bit. It's horrible, as you can already tell. That's a little bit better. I'm a little bit sick right now, but I still have to record this video. Literally, I don't know why I get sick. Fuck viruses. My message to all viruses, you can all fuck off to Mars or something. We creatures on Earth don't fucking welcome you, neither do we welcome you into the life category. Please just go screw over some other people other than us. Today we're going to be talking about school fights again. Yay! You know, I'm just telling these stories to show how cool I am, right? You know, I'm a really cool kid, I fight a lot in school, just kidding. Today I'm going to be talking about 2 school fights. It doesn't involve the abomination of Dickwad and Richard from the other video, but it's about a much older school fight story. I have no problem disclosing when this happened because I don't go to that school anymore. This happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago, around 2-3 years ago. I was still quite new to secondary school. It was definitely not year 7, maybe year 8 or year 9. My memory for this is a little bit fuzzy because it's been quite a while, but I will try my best to describe it. Basically, I remember I was sitting in maths class in year 8 or year 9, teaching mathematics in the front of the class to have to multiply indices. Yay, those are just so exciting to listen to. I remember this fuck viruses. And I remember this short kid, I'm not going to disclose his name. Little disclaimer, I don't hate him anymore. We actually became friends afterwards, unlike Dickwad. So yeah, I'm going to give him a somewhat normal name. Maybe I'll give him a name, Joseph. Yeah, Joseph sounds like a good name. So he was quite short, but he's quite athletic, I think, because he's quite strong for his size. You wouldn't think he'd be very strong, but he is. And also, I was a lot taller than him at the time. So I remember he was constantly annoying me. I think he was throwing paper, I forgot. I really don't remember, but he did something to tick me off. And I do admit, I shouldn't have overreacted like I always do, because I have bad temper. I mean, I don't know. He wasn't doing anything physical. He was just, I think it was verbal or it was just throwing paper at me, but I don't think it justified the response I gave. He kept doing it for some time, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then the class was already just boring. So I remember I was just like, you know what? Fuck this guy. And I turned around, he was behind me, and I just clocked him in the face. I don't know if he was sitting behind me or to the side of me. I don't remember really. But I just remember I clocked him in the face. Very hard, just full on. But back then I was literally a piece of stick. So I'm guessing he didn't knock him out. I remember I went maybe full strength on that punch. And obviously he fell back a little bit. and he got really pissed. I could see his face. I'm not sure he was bleeding after the first time, but he punched me back. Then I punched him back again. We didn't push, we didn't grab, we just kept punching each other. Basically, he would just stand in front of me, punch me, and then after I stumbled a bit from his punch, and after I hit him really hard in the face with my punch, he would stumble a bit, recover, start bleeding, and then punch me again. I think this went on for like 3 or 4 more rounds of punching each other, and eventually both of us started bleeding the hell out. My nose wasn't bleeding, my gums and my whole mouth was really just bleeding. As for him, I think his nose and mouth was bleeding. His nose was bleeding because he's Chinese and he has a really wide nose for a Chinese person. So I just looked at that nose at the time, in the heat of the moment when we're just still trading punches. I was like, that nose, I'm gonna punch it. So I just didn't aim for his jaw here or anything. I just went and threw a cross into his nose, and that, I'm guessing that's why it bled, because he was mainly throwing hooks at me, which targeted my jaw, which explains why all my gums started bleeding. Actually hurt quite a bit. And amazingly, somehow, after trading like 8 punches, full-on punches to each other, we started laughing with blood all over our mouth and noses. We started laughing. I don't know why. Like, we just stopped after, like, I think he punched me, or after I punched him, we just stopped and we started stumbling and we started laughing. And then everyone else was like, what the heck? sees us with our bloody faces and then laughing at each other after having traded like 8 full-on blows. And then the teacher, right, was teaching in front. She turned around and then she didn't say anything, continued on teaching. And then I walked to the front of the class to the teacher with my mouth still full of blood, and then my friend, his nose bleeding. We both walked into the front of the class. The teacher didn't tell us to come over. We just went over there. Hey miss, do you mind if we use the toilet? And then the teacher was like, alright, go. Just go clean your mouth right now. I'm like, okay. And then I go ahead to the toilet. I clean it. It's still bleeding even after I cleaned it. It hurt like hell. It wasn't really anything serious. There wasn't any broken bones. Just bleeding gums and just maybe teeth bleeding as well. But surprisingly, after we went back, the teacher's like, okay, good, sit down. And then she pretended like the whole thing didn't happen. Me and my friend too. And we weren't sworn enemies after that, like how you would expect a high school fight to go. Like there's like a bitter rivalry. We're just like friends. So that is definitely a very odd story. Let me know what you think of it. Maybe in the heat of the moment you overreacted, and then after punching someone, trading blows, you both just laugh it off even though you're just trading punches like 5 seconds ago. I don't know if that happens. I also have a second fight story, because if I don't, this video would be too short. And this guy, he stole my friend. We don't talk that much though. I fought him about 2 years ago. This was more recent, maybe a year and a half ago. We're friends. We're not sworn enemies anymore. Back then, after we fought, we were kind of like sworn enemies. Actually, I don't think fighting would be the best word to describe it. I'm gonna give him the name Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm kidding, Arnold. But I remember back then, we were having French class. Yeah, French class. And then our teacher, he has a pretty good build. I'm guessing he's about 50 years old or something, but you can tell he has a really good build. And I think he's like French African or something. So he was teaching like, basic French, writing it down in front of the class. And me and my friend, obviously, as like year 9 kids, obviously made fun of French, how retarded of a language it is because it has weird spelling and weird pronunciation. So my friend, Frederick. So Frederick, I actually talked about him in a different story before, in the how I pissed off a kid in school video. So it's the same guy. Frederick was sitting on the opposite side of the class with Arnold. And Frederick, he had like Apple earphones out, and because he normally just has them out because he's just a nerd, I guess, likes to listen to music all the time and antisocial. And Arnold was just messing around, like not listening, of course, because he doesn't care about French. And I also don't remember this very clearly. I'm going to try and speak about what I have in my brain still. But I think he took Frederick's earphones, Apple earphones. I'm not sure, but I think I remember he said, give me your wallet and I'll give you back your earphones. And I heard that from the other side of the class. And Frederick was one of my good friends back then. Arnold was also kind of like my friend. But I was like, are you kidding me? This is such a dick move. So I spoke across the class when the teacher's teaching, like, hey, can you not be a jerk? Just give him back his earphones. Something along those lines. I don't remember very clearly. And I tried to go over there and try and take the earphones away and give it back to Frederick. I don't know why I did that. I I'm guessing I'm just a good friend. I'm kidding, that's such a pretentious thing to say. But he refused. I think he was trying to like not give it to me. And afterwards I was like, you know what, screw this guy. Threw an insult at him and I walked back to my seat. And I think afterwards he came over and he started like trying to choke me. I'm guessing it was like a joke, but he was choking me quite hard. I was just not responding. I was really annoyed and he was choking me. And in addition to that, he was already like taking my friend's earphones and not giving it back, asking for his wallet, and then he started choking me. And I was like, you know what, screw this guy. So I stood up and I just shoved him really hard, even harder than how I shoved Dickwad. We were just about to trade punches again, this time also in the middle of class, when the French teacher saw all the commotion. He came between us, and he has a really good build. Like, he was about the same height as me, but just 10 times stronger and bigger. And he just came between us like, stop, arrête. And he's like, why you do this, why you fight, you cannot fight, I will send you to disciplinary office if you fight again. Standing in front of us, like, stop arguing, stop fighting. And then I keep trading insults with Arnold. And eventually the teacher got Arnold to go back to his seat and sit quietly, because he threatened to send us to the disciplinary office. He's actually a pretty cool teacher. He handled the situation pretty nicely, and he didn't send us to the office, so that's good. I still like the teacher. He doesn't teach me anymore, but I still like him. And then just to sum it up, after we went back to our seats, we still traded insults across the class when the teacher was still teaching, like je m'appelle and basic French words in the front of the class. But then the day afterwards, he messaged me on Snapchat like, oh, I'm gonna get my gang and beat you up. I know this is immature with gangs and stuff, but this was like 2 years ago, okay? You know, we didn't know any better. And then I know what his gang looks like. It's like multiple really buff people, even like some of them bigger than me. So I was like, oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared, because if it's a one-on-one, I would just go like, okay, let's fight. But then there's multiple people ganging up on me, no. I'm probably going to die. I don't think a single human being can reliably fight 2 or even 3 people, let alone a whole gang. They'll probably kill me or just beat me up really badly. And his gang were ready to fight me on like, it was on a Saturday, we had like sports day. Like, they threatened to beat me up. But then he cooled down a bit and he said, you know what? And I kept texting him, you don't want to fight fair, you're not fighting fair, you're getting your whole gang on me. And I was actually a bit scared, so I was texting him that. And then he said, okay then, fine. I think by this time his steam boiled down a bit. He was like, okay, we'll do one-on-one. You're gonna come at lunchtime and we're gonna do this one-on-one, no one else around, and we're gonna fight in the field. I was like, okay, I accept this challenge, because he's shorter than me and he's much skinnier than me, and I don't think he's as strong as me back then. So I was like, okay, I'll take up this challenge. I was still a little bit scared because, I don't know, who knows, maybe he knows some like martial arts or something, then he'll also kick my ass. Then I think a day or 2 later in the week, it's still not Saturday, sports day yet, he texted me about the fight again, and we started texting back and forth. Like, this time we're a little bit more civil, we stopped like throwing insults at each other. We texted on Snapchat, by the way, so that the messages will get deleted. But he screenshotted some. He said, you know what, let's just drop this, like, I can't be bothered, like, I know, sorry, like, and he said, like, sorry I choked you, and then I took, like, Frederick's earphones and stuff, and I was like, okay, you know what, I don't want to fight this kid, actually, because that whole time, actually, after that day, for the first 2 days of that incident in French class happening, I was pretty pissed, but then he was pissed for a little bit longer, and then finally, his steam finally boiled down, so I was like, okay, I don't want to fight this kid anymore since he's apologizing. So I apologized back, because decent human being, you know. I apologized back, like, sorry, I shouldn't have overreacted. I tend to overreact and fight people, so sorry. And then he told me, yeah, okay, good. And then a few hours later, he texts me again and says, okay, please don't go to school on Saturday because my gang wants to kill you. I'm like, what? Can you tell them not to kill me? He said, no, I don't know. I told them, and then they were pretty pissed that you did that to me, so yeah, don't come to school on Saturday. And I was like, okay. And then after that incident, we became decent friends, actually. It was actually his last term in the school, but we both in different schools now completely. He went over to Germany to play football, so congrats to you, bro. And as for me, I switched to a different secondary school. He's in Germany playing football, very happy. And as for me, a new school and people like Dickwad and Richard to deal with. So I guess that concludes this video. My throat already is hurting. I'm a little bit sick, like I said. I hope you enjoyed this story, because my throat hurts speaking about this. And for both the people involved in this story I don't hate him anymore because it's been such a long time, and we had time to just forgive each other and not get pissed at each other and want to cut each other's throat out. As for Dickwad, I still fucking hate that guy. But thank you so much for watching this video. Please smash subscribe, smash like button, turn on post notifications, and bye.